his dominant strategies. Those friends who frequently visited him and those who he visited would be able to testify of his expertise at the stove. However, I don't think anyone but his son would know of his full abilities as a chef. There were times when I went to his house, my belly already full, but from the time I smell his cooking, I suddenly become hungry again. At other times when I was hungry, just the smell of his cooking would make me feel as though I'm already eating. My dad once told me that he tricked a friend of his into looking for meat in an ital dish that he cooked. There was even one relative who confessed that my dad might be a better chef than her own mother. I won't say who that relative is, for obvious reasons. When my dad was cooking, everyone knew. The smell of his cooking just seemed to travel. And I am thankful to him that he was able to teach me a little bit of his cooking methods that could live on through me. But ladies and gentlemen, if cooking was like my dad's sister, then eating would be like his wife. In common terms, my dad loved his belly. It was hard to know who could eat more, he or me. I believe he could eat more. After all, he even got up at around midnight sometimes to relax and eat as well. The dishes he loved most were what we would call ground food, such as tanya, dashins, yams. Wild meats, especially tattoo, and his famous pilau. My dad was the kind of person, if he was away from home and a very exciting movie was showing, he would miss the last one home just to finish watching that movie. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little, but I do know that he gave up the comfort of his big comfortable bed just so that he could lie in his living room and watch movies when he was home from work. Not only did he like to watch them, he also liked to describe them. Sometimes he would tell me about movies he watched, and if you heard him speak, you would think he was actually in the movie himself. In some ways, my dad's life was like a movie in which he was the star. But unlike normal movies that come to an end, our movies do not end. Death is like the cut in one scene and the lights, camera, action in another scene. Myself, his family, and many friends can all agree that my dad played his part well. At the same time, I will not stand here and pretend that my dad was a perfect angel. However, I must remind us that no one is a perfect angel. We all have our faults, weaknesses, and bad ways that soil our good name. It is up to us to change our way of thinking so that we can focus on the good someone has done in society and put the bad to the back of our minds, not the front. Mr. Andrew Ashton was a good father, a good son, a good brother, a good friend, and a good member of society. There was nothing too good for him to give to his family, and there was no family member that he would not try to protect in times of trouble. There was love in his heart. We can all attest to that. There was never a time I was not allowed to come and visit Daddy. And although he was accustomed to living alone, he would never be fed up even if I stayed with him long. There were even times when he would show his disappointment if I had to leave earlier than I expected. And that disappointment was even expressed when I came back. The last time I saw him alive was when he had come to spend a few days with me. We had some good times. When he was coming back down, he wanted me to come with him, but because of school, I couldn't. He wished I could have come, but he understood. Little did I know that that was the last time we would ever talk face to face in this world. This is just to show, ladies and gentlemen, when someone is alive, that is the time we must show them love, because we do not know how long that opportunity will last. Daddy and I have a lot of unfinished business. After all, he didn't get to see me wear my lab coat and be one of my first patients. He didn't get to hold his grandkids, which he told me he wanted this year self. He would have had to wait on that one a little while longer. But he also owes me. After all, I still don't know how he made his fried fish taste so good. On the 4th of next month, both of us would have been a year older. A fact that he never failed to remind me of. We would most likely have done something special on that day. But as it turns out, I'll get older in the physical, while he will get older in the spiritual. When bonds as strong as these are broken, it usually brings about despair and unimaginable sadness. However, we must be comforted in our togetherness as living family and friends. It is times like these that we should be there for each other the most and support each other through these times of bereavement. On behalf of the Ashton family, I would like to express my gratitude to all those who have been there for us during this time, both family and friends. Please rest assured that while the body of Mr. Andrew Ashton will not be here with us anymore, his legacy lives on. While our tears will eventually become stale, our memories of him will still be fresh in our minds, making him alive in our hearts. Remember, if life is a journey, then death is just a doorway from one journey to the next. There is a peace in death that surpasses all earthly peace. So as Mr. Andrew Ashton is laid to rest, may his loving soul rest in peace and rise in glory. Thank you.
That's an excellent disposition by a strong young man. I tried it a couple of times when my parents passed. I didn't reach halfway. But I'm sure if Cyprus would have been alive, he would have said, "Big up boy." Stand with me please while we sing this song, and after which we'll invite Pastor Lincoln and